You know that the Holy Scriptures before the coming of Jesus Christ were written in the Hebrew language. A small part was written in the Aramaic language, which is very close to the Hebrew language, but mostly Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, and so forth. These books, also sometimes referred to as the Tanakh, as an acronym, the Torah, the Navi'im, and the Ketuvim, the law, the prophet, and the writings were written in the Hebrew language. Okay. Now, there is a very interesting similarity, specifically when it comes to one word. Maybe there are other similarities too, but there's one very interesting word in the Hebrew language that does something similar in Isizulu, in the Zulu language. And it is the word for spirit. The word for spirit. Okay? In the Hebrew language, that word is RUAKH. Some pronounce it with a hard R, RUAKH. Okay? RUAKH or RUAKH. And this is the word that is generally used in the Hebrew language for the Spirit of God, RUAKH Elohim, but also a man's spirit, Ruchi, my spirit. Okay. Now here's the interesting thing. The Hebrew word RUAKH is also used for the wind. Okay, the wind blowing. In the Hebrew language, the RUAKH does thus not refer only to the Spirit of God or a man's spirit, but also to the wind. Interestingly, in Isizulu, when I speak about UMOYA, you remember in the 90s the very well-known song by the Queen of Gospel Music, Rebecca Malope, her song, Moya wa, mulalelu Jesuka. You remember? Umoya womuntu, a person's spirit. Okay, so she is singing to her spirit, and she says, Moya wa, ubolalela uJesuka. My spirit, you must listen to Jesus alone. That ka is a Xhosa word in that song. Okay, the word moya. Okay, in Isizulu, spirit. But the word umoya in Isizulu is also used for the wind. Gwavunguza umoya. And I find that to be very interesting. I'm sure there are other languages where you have something similar going on, the spirit of a person, okay, but also the wind that blows in nature, as you have in Isizulu. But a very interesting comparison and similarity between the Hebrew word for spirit, or ruach, of a human being, of a person, and the wind blowing is also ruach, as you have in Isizulu, umoya and umoya. And I thought you might also find that interesting.